Okay, good morning, everyone. It is after 10 a.m., the day after the election. I just quickly wanted to go over the Maryland results before I get into some main news for New York, obviously, for last night. First things first, in my congressional district in Maryland for the first district, as I will be hopefully heading down there later today, um, Dan Schwartz still leads by about 8 points, right? This is an 8 point lead. So he's leading 45% of the vote compared to Randy White. So you could see here, I'm going to center it so that way you can get a better idea of what it looks like. It's a very thin margin between Dan and Randy. So it's about, again, 8 point lead for Dan Schwartz. And let me just go into results by county because this is where things get interesting here. So as you see here for the margin of error in terms of, largest vote counted, right? So Schwartz is leading obviously big time in Kent and Queen Anne's County. But when you look at another big county, which is Somerset County, right? Which technically is my neighboring county in Maryland of Worcester. You can see here that White has a 42.9% lead compared to a big lead in Talbot County for Schwartz. In Worcester County, Schwartz only has about a 6.2% advantage compared to White at 9.8, a big lead in Wycomico County. So again, from what I was looking into, 59% of votes are counted. There still needs to be absentees counted. There still needs to be early vote tally margin. But the Associated Press is not ready to declare a winner yet to figure out who will be facing the Republican incumbent, Dr. Andy Harris, who was declared the winner last night. As you can see here, we quickly went over that. Now let's just go to New York. And we're just trying to see if I can find... I don't see... Here we go, Congress. This is what I was looking for. So let's just go over the results last night in the 12th Congressional District. And it looks like it is official. Mika Lasher has won the primary. Let me move this to the left because I know you can't see it as well until I do this. There we go. Mika Lasher, the assemblyman, will likely be heading to Congress to succeed Jared Nadler. Last night, he received 39.14% of the vote compared to Assemblyman Alex Boris, who only received 34.96% of the vote. Meanwhile, it looks like Sohram Mamdani Super Friends all won their races last night because late last night, the Associated Press called the race in the 13th District. Adriano Espinat, the longtime incumbent congressman, has been defeated. Dariela Alizer Shavar, another Democratic Socialist, will likely be heading to Congress. She received 49.40% of the vote. Adriano did concede the race last night. So, yes, it looks like all three of Mamdani's backed candidates are going to move on to the general election and likely head to Congress. Now, I want to quickly go over State Senate because there was an important race last night. Now, we're just going to look into the 13th District. And in a stunner, because this got a lot of attention last night on New York 1, the incumbent, Jessica Ramos, who you may remember ran for mayor last year, she lost by about a 10% voting margin. So here are the results that we got last night when New York won. All right, my microphone got cut off there for a second. I do apologize. But yes, as you can see here, Jessica Gonzalez Rojas won. So she's going to be moving on to the state Senate. And it looks like Jessica Ramos is done. It looks like she will be out of a job. Look at that. And I quickly want to go over to New York City Council for District 3. So let me find that one. That was a special election last night. So it looks like Carl Wilson will remain in the job. He was temporarily filling in. We all know what happened. Somebody went to a higher office in Albany, blah, blah, blah. This got a lot of attention because Lindsey Boylan, one of the women that accused Andrew Cuomo of sexual harassment on the job, Carl Wilson will be staying in the city council for District 3 in Manhattan. He received 44.01% of the vote compared to Lindsey Boylan. So yes, that's what's going on. But again, the main focus right now is to keep an eye on my congressional district in Maryland because, again, I'm still wondering what's going to happen here. You know, I'm only curious about Dan Schwartz and Randy White. So to wrap up this video, I just want to show you the two candidates that are still, again, dealing with this mess. I had to open up a different tab here for just a second. So this is Dan Schwartz. This is the first candidate. Basically, Dan is a private citizen. Obviously, this is his family, of course. I'm on the Schwartz for Congress website. And this is Randy White, the other candidate who is running. And again, from what we were looking into, White was doing a lot better in Somerset County. So that's an interesting way of looking at it. I guess because Randy must be from Somerset County, I guess. Maybe that's the reason why. Just want to see if she is... Right, here we go. Randy White, born and raised in the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So, basically, this is where she is from, right? So I guess that would explain why her turnout was good in Somerset County. But again, the Associated Press does not want to call the race just yet because, again, as of almost 10:30, we still have about 59% of the votes that still need to be counted. So this could take a while, honestly. You know, I just don't want to assume that it's over because there's a very thin line for, you know, Dan Schwartz to... He might lose his... I don't want to jinx anything, but he could lose his lead in Worcester County. Because, again, you still have, like I said, you still have absentee ballots. I don't know if the early ballots make a difference, but the absentee ballots are still going to have to be counted. The latest result we did get this morning was from Baltimore County, Caroline County, Cecil County, and then Dorchester County. So maybe there is a reason why they want to shrink the district a little bit, because I don't know. It just seems that, does it really make any sense to have Hartford and, I don't know, because Cecil County always seems to lean Republican. They're trying to redistrict it and make it into a purple district, but who knows, because there was a battle over it, and who knows what will happen, because we all know how long Andy Harris has been serving the district for. So that's where I will leave it. I know I've been rambling on for too long, but that's pretty much it. So I'll try to keep you all updated. If I do have a quick update, if the Associated Press calls the race while I'm on the road today, I will try to do my best to do a quick update. So, yes, let's just be patient. I honestly think, and I will wrap this up by saying this, I don't think we're going to know today. As I said, if there's absentee ballots that still need to be counted, then I would assume we're not going to know anything for a couple of days. So, Maryland Board of Elections, along with these other county Board of Elections, get your butts to work, count the votes, because we know there's a holiday next week. So please just get this done, because we need to know who's going to face Andy Harris in November. So that's it, and thank you for watching.